What is the most useless fact you know? Tapirs have a prehensile penis similar to an arm. And it's longer than they are. It directly puts semen in the cervix. Bulls get aroused watching another bull mount a cow. But they get more aroused watching two females mount each other. Bulls love lesbian porn. Tasmanian devils got their name due to their howling. Early European settlers heard them howl during the night and thought it was the devil coming for them. Beavers potty train their young. And sometimes after they move out of their parents' basement, the parents will come downstream and help the youngster build his dam so that he can attract a mate. And they will even come years later sometimes. Liechtenstein is the world's largest producer of false teeth. Dumpster is a brand name. Like Kleenex. Update. 2 people pointed out that the trademark was cancelled in 2015. So for the other 2 people who suggested my mom trademark the name. Cum dumpster. I suppose now she could. Elephants can move their skin to crush mosquitoes between their rolls of skin. Seahorses are some of the most effective ocean predators. As 95% of their hunts are successful. The line between the 2 numbers in a fraction is called the vinculum. There are 3 golf balls on the moon. Dannebrog. The national flag of Denmark is the world's oldest continuously used national flag. The Stegosaurus is as ancient to the Triceratops as the Triceratops is to us. An ostrich's eye is bigger than his brain. Horses can't throw up. If they do, they're close to death. Useless information for me. Brazil requires all customs documentation to be filled out in blue ink. Obsidian is so sharp that it can cut your DNA. Ants are immune to fall damage. Their terminal velocity is not fast enough to harm them. The barnacle is an animal with the biggest penis length to size ratio. The fruit fly Drosophila bifurca is only a few millimeters in size but produces almost 6 centimeters long sperm. If we escalated it to human size, a 6-foot-tall man would have a sperm 120 feet long. The dot over the I and J is called a tittle. You can get arrested for whale fishing in Nebraska. Bananas are berries. The human body can live for 3 days without skin. Ohio is the only U.S. state that doesn't share any letters with the word mackerel. Yoda and Miss Piggy were both voiced by the same person. A second is called a second because it is the second division. Pars minuta secunda. Of the hour by 60. The first division being a minute. Pars minuta prima. Eugene J. Weigel created the 8 to 5 step. You march 8 steps every 5 yards. For marching bands as the director of the Ohio State University Marching Band. When hippos shit their tails spin, which brings a whole new meaning to shit hit the fan. Siamese fighting fish have labyrinth lungs, which mean that they could breathe both air and water. Keeping your rubber bands in the fridge will make them last longer. The airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, European, is 11 meters per second or 24 miles per hour. All the swans in England belong to the Queen. Even the neutrino radiation from a supernova is lethal at a distance of a few assuming you survived everything else. Almost all mammals larger than a rat take the same amount of time to empty their bladder, with the time averaging 21 seconds. Koalas have smooth brain and therefore lack higher processing skills, so if you picked a bunch of eucalyptus leaves and put it in front of a koala, it would just stare at them and not realize they are food. Most toilets flush in E-flat. Bologna and Modena, 2 city-states in Italy, went to war with each other briefly for a variety of pretty stupid and pointless reasons. The war ended when the Modenese soldiers chased the Bolognian forces back to their city, threw a massive party outside the city gates, and as a final, fuck you, stole Bologna's bucket for the city well. The bucket is still on display in the Modena town hall. Pinguine have knees. It takes 11-20 licks. And a boring, long car trip to completely remove the Cantley coating from around the Tootsie Pop, fully exposing the Tootsie Roll Center. Edit. I recognize that this is a different criteria than the query originally issued by the commercial. To get to the center implies the first time breaking the surface of the candy coating. Judging by the comments, this seems more around 200 to 500 licks. My criteria for completion was different, but I do regret not stopping to note the more popular criteria for success. Edit 2. Yes, tongue length and width will likely make a difference. In my case, I remember trying to take fairly uniform licks that were roughly 1.5 to 2 inches of a relaxed, which allows for greater width of tangential contact surface. Doing a single pass. Now that I reflect, it was likely more Tootsie Pop being pulled over the tongue than the other way around. All outside if the actual oral cavity. To prevent interference with cheeks, lips, and general humidity. Occasional nom-nom-nomming of the mouth to refresh the palate, saliva, and remove extraneous sugar from the licking surface. Female fish will often fake orgasms so they can leave and get a better partner. Snapple bottle caps have useless facts on them. Nintendo and the Ottoman Empire existed at the same time. A man won the Ig Nobel Prize for documenting 72 minutes of homosexual necrophilia in ducks. Dreamt is the only word in the English language that ends with mount. The beat at which you perform CPR is the speed you should shoot the deagle in CSGO if you want perfect accuracy. It's the Still Alive song for PPL who don't know. Oh, stayin' alive. An acronym is when you say the word it represents like NASA or NATO. It creates a new word. An initialism is a subset of acronym, where each letter needs to be pronounced CEO or HDMI. Edit. I can't believe I took the time to defend the most useless fact I know. The spelled out form of an acronym or initialism, that is, what it stands for, is called its expansion. Wikipedia. Of course they're both abbreviations. There are more homosexual giraffes than there are heterosexual ones. A pig's orgasm can last up to 30 minutes. The dot over the letter I is called a tittle. Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts. Lego has a underground vault which contains every set ever made. Edit. Okay, that's more than one, but I don't know if I'll get another chance to share my useless knowledge. A duck's penis is in the shape of a corkscrew. However, a duck vagina is in the shape of a corkscrew but turns other direction, making it more difficult for male ducks to rape females. The vagina even had dead ends to further fool the male. No number from 1 to 999 includes the letter A in its word form. Color blindness affects on average 1 in 12 men and 1 in 200 women. The reason for this is because genes for the red and green color receptors are located on the X chromosome. Men have only one X chromosome but women have two. We all start out as an asshole with a mouth. They are the first things to form in the womb. In my case they were also the last. Due to the presence of ethanol and certain chemical compounds found in raspberries, the center of the Milky Way galaxy smells like raspberry vodka. Did you know that a box jellyfish has 64 anuses? I should know. I am the Australian jellyfish. BMWs have turn signals. You can shake a mount. Do and open it right away. It will not explode like other carbonated drinks. Whales have 2-meter-long penises. There are no truly useless facts. Only facts with a narrower and narrower range of use. Hippopotamonstrosesquiptaliophobia is the fear of long words. And I can spell it lol. Once useful but not really useful now. Cab mounts on early 1970s Ford F-100s were prone to rusting through, causing the cab to rest on the steering column. The upvote button's color. 255, 69, 00. RGB is called orange red. I mixed fruit tea and chocolate-flavored milk once and it tasted like absolutely nothing. A tomato is a vegetable. It is also a fruit. But by that logic, so are cucumbers and peppers. And broccoli is the stem and leaves flowers of the plant. And potatoes and carrots are roots. Nobody ever says, a carrot isn't a vegetable. It's actually a root. Vegetable is a culinary term. It has nothing to do with what part of the plant you are talking about. It simply refers to edible plant parts. And usually specifies that they are used in savory dishes. This matters because it doesn't. Most people can hear the difference between hot and cold water being poured even though they don't know it. From 1781 to 1850. The planet Uranus was named George. Termites chew wood twice as fast when listening to heavy metal. IIRC polar bears have purple, retractable penises. Edit. So my most upvoted comment is about polar bear dicks. Allspice is just one spice. Lego people live in houses made of their own skin. Lamps in video games use real electricity. Yellow pencils were painted yellow to indicate the graphite lead was the highest quality from China. A lethal dose is a lifetime supply. Niggardly is a word that frequently gets people in trouble because of how racist it is. However, it is completely different from the N-word and comes from completely different etymological roots. The N-word comes from the Latin for black. Niggardly comes from the Old English word, which was probably stolen from Old Norse, for stingy. It's useless because even if you're using it correctly, someone could still get offended and it is not worth the fight. If someone gets their jimmies rustled, they are not going to want to listen to a lecture about why they are technically wrong. You could end up getting in all kinds of trouble. And for what? Because you wanted to use an obsolete word? Cyanide tastes like almonds. If I drink my fruit punch and go, oh crap, tastes like almonds, there's already no hope for me. Something more useful is that cyanide smells like almonds. The average human has less than 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, etc., but more than 1 head. Earthworms are not native to North America. Lego is the #1 tire manufacturer in the world. When a female cat mates with several male cats, she has the possibility to have kittens of each one of them. In other words, she can be pregnant of several cats at the same time. The CS in C.S. Lewis stands for Clyde Staples. Won a fucking pub trivia on that one.